Hey everyone, this is Elias from RefMatch Media, and today we're going to discuss some likes and dislikes I had of the 2022 Grand Wagoneer Obsidian. Now, we have reviewed the Wagoneer before, the Grand Wagoneer, and that was a Series 3. The one that we're going to discuss today is a Series 2, and this is actually the Obsidian. So there are some little things that are a little bit different with this one. Some things that I actually really liked over the Series 3. Now, again, take a look. You can see my full review of the Grand Wagoneer Series 3. But for this, we're going to go ahead and discuss some of the things I liked and some of the things I didn't quite like. Let's start off with the things that I didn't quite like. The first thing is the no camera hard button. So there isn't a hard button for the camera system, especially when you have a big SUV like this. It's sometimes crucial to have something like that to make sure that your blind spots or, just being able to park a big vehicle like that in the tiniest of spots. The camera system is great. I did love the camera system in the Grand Wagoneer, but getting to it was a little cumbersome, so I did have to press a couple of buttons to get into the menu. There is an option to put it as a shortcut where you're literally just sliding down and pushing it, but it was still, I don't know. I guess I just like a hard button because the camera system is good. If it weren't good, then I could care less and this wouldn't even be discussed. But because it was a good system, I would definitely like access to it via a physical button. Now, I don't recall if this one had it, but I have been getting newer or different SUVs and cars even that have an auto camera button. So once you reach a slow speed, it will go ahead and actually turn on the camera for you. With that being said though, it is kind of another double-edged sword with the fact that you have the camera constantly coming up. And if you were being active or your passenger, my wife, being active with pushing, changing the radio station, things like that, it will kind of interrupt. So it's a balancing thing. But yeah, I've loved those new systems that do give you that function. I hope this doesn't have it. Well, I hope it does or gets included in the update or something along those lines. Now, the next thing that I didn't quite like were the seat controls. Now, hear me out. It is a 20-way adjustable seat, yes, but sometimes less is more. I know, I always complain about finding that sweet spot. That's always like my key thing with all these different vehicles that I review. And finding the sweet spot is always crucial to me because I want to be able to correctly analyze or basically critique the vehicle in the most comfortable spot that I can. With this, it was a little tough because, granted, it's a very comfortable seat and everything, but having all that adjustability made it maybe too, like I said, too much, because I would find my sweet spot, but then I was like, maybe I can find an even better thing, and I would adjust one thing and it would really mess up another. So it was, the balancing act was a little bit difficult. So 20 is a lot of adjustability. So yeah, this one is definitely a double-edged sword because I want the adjustability, but maybe not as much. So yeah, hopefully, I don't know. I wish there was something else to make the seat not have that much adjustability, but then someone's going to complain that it doesn't adjust it. Yeah. Moving on to the next thing, the Uconnect 5 system. This is another thing that I really, really love when it works. Yeah, so I've had issues with Uconnect 5 systems, which is basically Stellantis's the wireless Apple CarPlay system. It's been hit or miss. Sometimes it's been really miss, to the point where the first Grand Wagoneer that I had, I actually had to park, completely reset the operating system on the screen in order for it to reconnect. Yeah, it was a big thing because it was completely frozen. And I did encounter this in the Ram where it was, you would press and it was literally about 30-second delay. And here I was pressing and then pressing and then pressing, wondering what's going on. And then 30 seconds later, all of those buttons that I pressed did some weird thing. So yeah, I'm not the only one that has experienced this either. So I have had other colleagues of mine encounter similar issues with the Uconnect 5 system. So it sounds like it's just a firmware update that needs to be done. Now, with that being said, there is the Uconnect 5 system in the Pacifica. That is the first one I encountered with Uconnect 5, and that was spectacular. That was so good, which really had my hopes up high, because really, you know, I was like wondering, okay, when is this gonna get implemented into the Rams? When is this gonna be implemented into the Jeeps? We still don't have it in the Gladiator. We still don't have it in the Wrangler. That's what I'm waiting for. Please, 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 Jeep, let's add that to that. But make sure it's get fixed first. So we definitely need a fixed Uconnect 5 system. So just be aware, you may find some disconnect there with the Uconnect. So you may want to go hardwire. Hopefully we can get that resolved soon. The next thing I want to discuss is the price. So this one does start at $97,995. With the way that this is equipped, we're looking at $112,475. Now, this is a kind of a small dislike, just because I wish they weren't as expensive so I could own one. Because they are great. Granted, they are a lot of vehicle. They are a lot of vehicle for the money. And I realized after, you know, driving some SUVs after that, yeah, this may actually be a bargain. So I know I wrote this as a I don't like it, but yeah, I mean, it's just simply because I want it. But yeah, it can get pricey, as you can see from the price jump from 97,000 to 112 when you start adding options. So just be aware, it's a 6-figure SUV. And finally, my last dislike is, it's probably in the future. The V8 may actually be phased out. Stellantis did announce their new V6 turbo engine. And yeah, granted, it does outperform a lot of things. But yeah, that V8 was just so nice to hear come to life, really, especially with that remote start on it. Well, enough of the things that I, don't really quite like about the Wagoneer. Let's get started to the fun things, the things that I really, really like. Okay, yes, we're gonna start with the seats. Yes, I know I discussed the adjustability, but there's more things that I liked about the seats. The heating, the cooling, and the massage option. Yes, so this has the trifecta of things that you need in a seat, and it does it really well. The heat is really good, the cooling is really, really good, and the massage is just amazing. It's so relaxing, so just make sure you stay awake because it can be extremely relaxing. Well, it's funny, I told my neighbor came and took a look at it, and he goes, "Oh, this is reminding me I need to go book my massage." I said, well, instead of paying for a massage, at a massage parlor, maybe you could go and buy a Wagoneer and, get a massage whenever you want. So yeah, let's say it could be an investment for you. Then the next thing I want to discuss is the night vision. So this does have night vision, and it does have the animal and people detection. This was great. This was great, especially in some areas in my neighborhood that are more on farmland, so to speak, and there aren't many lights, so it is on the darker side. This was really good. It's crazy because I was leaving my neighborhood at night, and it actually, I was able to see the animal detection and people detection before really my headlights were shining where the animal and the person, the pet and the person were. So that was actually really, really nice to have. And it does let you do it during the daytime. It's kind of pointless during the daytime, but it's kind of fun to see all the catalytic converters just really white hot. under the vehicles. But yeah, night vision is crucial if you live in areas that aren't well lit, out in the country, so to speak. So it really is a big safety thing. It may seem like a gimmick to some, but I feel like it's definitely a key thing to have when you're in those environments. Now, the thing with this specific model, the Obsidian, is we have, and then this is the next thing that I really liked about it, is the blacked out trim with that white color looked so good. I thought the silver that we had in the Series 3 was really nice, but having it in white with that black was spectacular. It definitely is the way to go. Now, I've seen all black, and I think that's a little too much. So definitely the white with the black trim is ideal. That's definitely the way I would style my Wagoneer. And I think I wouldn't even go to the Series 3 because of the fact that I loved the Obsidian trim in the Series 2. So definitely again, personal preference, but personally, it was definitely my favorite. Then the next thing that I love is the air suspension. So the air suspension and the off-road modes in this makes it such a great vehicle. So it's not just about luxury, but it's still capable. It's still very, very capable vehicle. So it's, after all, it's essentially a Jeep. It's essentially a Jeep, and you can't let the Jeep name down. So it's still very capable off-roading with all the different modes you have, as well as that air suspension, which you could really put it up to the sky or slam it down to the ground. But yeah, it was definitely a great system. Made it easy, really easy to get in to the Grand Wagoneer, as well as obviously, any obstacle you may encounter, be able to go up and tackle that obstacle. Then is the V8. So the V8 in this is so good. It really gets this big guy going. I'm surprised at how nimble it makes it, or basically, from a stop or even highway passing, the power was there all the time, which was definitely my favorite thing about this. The drivetrain was so good at delivering the power to all the wheels when it had to. So yeah, V8, oh yeah, and cold starts with the remote were spectacular. I loved it. Now, a little special one for the last thing is the Fire TV entertainment in the back. So your rear passengers can, and this is the big thing that I've always kind of wondered, why we have rear entertainment, but we don't have a system. We don't have an operating system in those screens. They're passive screens. So now you're having to have another additional device, plug it in, and then, do a bunch of things to get those screens working. Not with this. So there is a Fire TV or the Amazon Fire TV system built into it. So you can watch your Amazon Prime videos. You can watch your Netflix shows. I believe you also had like NFL and HBO. So yeah, you have all those apps that you can watch right in there. And obviously it has the built-in Wi-Fi system inside to be able to watch those services. But it's just incredible. It really stands out, and it makes that option well worth the money, because I've seen other systems that are $2,000 and it's just a screen. It's just a screen. And at that point, buy 2 iPads, buy some stand and headphones, and you're still gonna be probably under $1,000. So the fact that you have this with an operating system inside, it's great. It's great, and this is really what you need to have. And thank you, Jeep, for implementing that into the Wagoneer. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my likes and dislikes of the 2022 Grand Wagoneer Obsidian. And remember, find the right gear. See ya.